Hi, this is Mary Ann Hughes of Special Family Transitions, and I'm so excited to be at the University of Texas at Austin today with Ashley Richardson, who is going to tell us about the UT TIES program for students who are neurodiverse and how to get support at UT Austin.
Yes, well, Mary, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us. As Mary said, my name is Ashley. I'm the Autism Spectrum Education and Outreach Administrator within the Office of New Student Services, and I'm also the Program Administrator for Longhorn TIES. In Longhorn TIES, it's new to UT campus. We launched it in spring of 2020, and we provide individualized support services to students who identify as being on the autism spectrum or neurodivergent. And so a little bit about our program is we have two forms of supports. We have comprehensive services and we have drop-in supports. So prior to coming to UT didn't have specific supports to ensure neurodivergent students succeed inside and outside the classroom, and that's why Longhorn TIES is here. So our comprehensive services, we have two levels. Our level 1 service is that full transition support where all of our students are paired with a Longhorn TIES coach, and those coaches are trained. They're either a staff member who's a clinician or they're graduate students who are receiving their degree in social work. And those individuals are paired with students for weekly meetings, and that's going to be our level 1 support.
So it'll be the same person working with them every time?
Yeah, same person working with them every time. So they meet weekly, and we're here to assist students address any academic barriers they may have, any professional development, career-related goals, any social communication goals they may have. So they're paired with that coach, and all of our students have an action plan, and that action plan details their semester goals and then their weekly goals. And for our students, it's like kind of their weekly to-do list, and that's how we kind of keep track of the goals they have created for themselves. So we use a very person-centered planning approach. So every student's action plan is specific to them, their goals are specific to them, and every session or coaching meeting is going to be different. So our level 1 support includes that weekly meetings, those one-on-one supports. Students also will be required to participate in study halls, a certain amount of study halls per semester, and then also professional development and social skills trainings. In Longhorn TIES, we host monthly meetings for students that are professional development aimed, and we also create social opportunities. So we encourage students to integrate with the UT campus because UT always has so many great things for our students to do, but we also have heard from our students when they are able to have TIES events that's really special to them. So we host socials and things for our students as well. So they're required to participate in some professional development activities and socials as well.
Okay, great. So how does somebody get accepted or apply for the program?
Yes, so if a student is interested, first for our comprehensive service, they just have to identify as a neurodivergent student. So that's a student who has autism, ADHD, dyslexia, OCD, the list goes on when it comes to neurodivergent diagnosis. They have to be admitted to UT Austin, and they have to apply for our comprehensive supports. And then once they apply, they will be sent a confidence survey. And that is just kind of where we gauge, where they let us know what they feel their confidence in the field of like academics, their social communication in general, and then they will schedule a meeting for an initial consult with myself and our Longhorn TIES team. Once they go through that whole process, our team will contact them in regards to acceptance. And we'll discuss with the student what levels of service is most appropriate.
Okay, great. So it seems like you already have to be accepted to UT and meet all the requirements to be accepted to the university with all the regular standards. So when you're applying to UT initially, do you need to indicate that you have any kind of disability or neurodivergent in any way?
You do not. You do not. So you don't have to identify when you apply to UT if you have a diagnosis. In our particular program, we do not require an official diagnosis because I do understand for a lot of students there is a barrier to getting access to official documentation. We encourage students, if they feel like it is helpful for them to do that, to go through that route. But for our program, they do not require, but they don't have to list. You don't have to list that you have a diagnosis when you are applying, and also to UT, and also for Longhorn TIES. However, if you would like additional support, let's say through our disability services or another realm, that official diagnosis is needed.
Okay, so you would contact the disability office after you get accepted and after applying for this program, or is that at what point is that done?
So actually, when you for students that are interested with applying for accommodations, and those are going to be classroom accommodations, they will submit that information and apply usually after they've been accepted to UT Austin. So applying for accommodations and applying for services through our disability office is not a requirement to participate in Longhorn TIES. We do encourage students, if they are interested in receiving accommodations, classroom accommodations, to definitely apply, but that's not going to be a requirement to participate in Longhorn TIES.
And how would you say, how welcoming is University of Texas for neurodivergent students?
I would say UT Austin, I'm very proud of UT Austin. I am a Red Raider. I'm from Texas Tech, so it's always close to my heart, but I would say UT is doing a really good job improving and making campus more welcoming and inclusive. And Longhorn TIES, that's something that's really dear to our hearts, is promoting inclusivity on campus and encouraging welcoming environments for our neurodivergent folks. And so Longhorn TIES, we provide these services, multiple levels of service, comprehensive services, but we also do trainings for faculty, trainings for staff, trainings for student support on how to make campus more inclusive. And we also have a Neurodiversity Leadership Committee where we have student leaders, encouraging inclusivity and encouraging programs on campus to include neurodivergent folks in the planning of those services. So I think UT is doing a great job in improving that culture for our students.
That's wonderful. So what would you say would be the biggest challenges if a student comes to campus who has some kind of difference? What would they find to be the biggest challenge coming to a large campus like UT?
I think being large. I think that is probably one thing that a lot of our students say is kind of their nervousness about how large the campus is and kind of navigating the campus. But we encourage students to get connected with resources like Longhorn TIES and other programs because services like ours can help students integrate and kind of figure out all the barriers to coming to a large campus. But I would say that is one of the challenges that many students state is like, oh, this campus is so big, figuring out resources, but there's so many supports here to help students navigate those resources.
So there's no special classes or anything, it's just the extra supports that you provide?
Well, so not within Longhorn TIES, so we don't have specific classes that students do participate, but all incoming students do take certain first year classes, whether they're focused on kind of stress management or acclimating to campus. There's specific first year classes that a lot of students do take.
That are open to the general population.
Yes, that are open to the general population that definitely help. But one thing when it comes to kind of our program and our coaching meetings, we're able to talk about their classes with students and specifically how they're doing in those classes and how they're adjusting to what is being taught and applying what they're being taught in their environments.
Okay, great. So can you take me an example of what would happen in one of the initial sessions, say as a freshman? They would come in and how would that look?
So as a freshman, we'll determine if you're a level 1 service or level 2. So level 2 is a bi-weekly meetings. So that's going to be every other week. So it's going to be all the same as that full college transition support, but you have meetings every other week, and you will have a little bit more professional development requirements because we a lot of our level 2 students are usually juniors or seniors, so we encourage them to strive for those internships and things of that nature. But for a freshman coming in, we'll determine what level of service you are. In that first meeting, you'll be paired with your Longhorn TIES coach, and we'll do kind of a building rapport session. So So I'm a clinical social worker, and it's really important that our students and our coaches are able to get to know one another and build that rapport with one another and build that trust, because trust is so important. So use the first session to, build trust, to figure out kind of answer any questions they may have about campus and campus life. We go over the syllabus with all students for their classes. We discuss accommodations, if students are interested in accommodations, how to apply for those accommodations. And then that first session also is answering a lot of questions regarding navigating campus, making it from class to class. So for some students, we might have to create a schedule of what that looks like. And then last but not least, we introduce the action plan to them. So that first session, we don't talk about semester goals. We don't dive right in. We introduce it, and we wait to the next few sessions to go into depth.
Okay, great. And so is this a program that lasts as long as a student is enrolled in the University of Texas?
Yes, as long as they're enrolled, they have access to us. For our undergraduate students, they have options to participate in comprehensive services. For our graduate students, we do support graduate students, and our graduate students have access to drop-in services. And also students that, feel like I don't need that intensified support, those undergrad students have access to drop-ins as well. And so undergrads and graduate students who identify as neurodivergent are able to get 3 drop-ins a semester. And they have access to these services as long as they are here completing their degree.
Okay, great. Now, are there fees for the comprehensive and for the drop-in?
Okay. There's fees for the comprehensive services, and there's also sponsorship opportunities. We have been lucky enough to get a contract with Texas Workforce, so there's sponsorship opportunities with them. Also, we work with our financial aid office, because it's really important to myself that our students are not having to pay out of pocket for a support service that's really needed for them. So comprehensive services, it is a fee-based service. However, drop-ins are free, and they're open to all neurodivergent students, whether you're undergraduate and graduate student. And those drop-ins have been great addition to our program.
Oh, wonderful. And then what do you suggest in terms of, do you recommend dorms, or do you support them through social activities and their living situations as well?
Yes, so a lot of our students are in dorms. Some are off campus. UT Austin, they're expanding their on-campus residence options, which is fabulous for our students. And so some of our students do live in dorms, and some do live on campus. We have a great relationship with our housing department, as well as a few other departments on campus, to make sure our students are, if they have any needs, our housing folks are able to reach out to us. But we encourage our students to get involved in that residence life, the different activities that go on. Within our department, within New Student Services, we have a first generation living learning community, and we have so many other different programs that if students do fall in those categories, they can participate in. So we definitely help foster and encourage that participation in that residence
Okay, great.
life.
But you don't have a specific residence area that's just for neurodivergent?
Not specifically, no.
Okay. Okay, great. And what other advice would you have for someone who's considering UT but not quite sure if this is the right place for them?
Yeah, I would recommend look early. Look early. Look at kind of everything UT has to offer. Think about kind of the major you want, the classes you are interested in, and look at the resources and see kind of if it fits you. And definitely reach out. Definitely don't hesitate to reach out. We will include my contact information in there, and we are always open to talking with students and families. So whether you're a sophomore, a junior, or even a senior, and you're thinking about, okay, where do I want to go? Definitely kind of reach out, and we'll be more than happy to set up a one-on-one with you to tell you a little bit about TIES and encourage you to look at all the great things that UT has to offer.
Right. And if you didn't know about this program coming in as a freshman, can you sign up anytime?
Definitely. So we have applications are open right now for our fall semester, and applications do close when school starts. And so even if you're a second year or a third year, you definitely can reach out, and we encourage students to apply prior to the start of the semester. However, if you're like, oh, I didn't know about this program and it's mid-semester, definitely reach out, because you have access to drop-in supports. And then we'll talk to you about more comprehensive supports if you deem and we deem it's really necessary.
Okay, wonderful. And then there's also tutoring services that are offered by the university or outside parties?
Yes, yes. So the Sanger Learning Center is one of our great campus partners, and they provide tutoring services to students. And they have drop-in and one-on-one, drop-in and scheduled tutorings. They also have learning specialists there, and they are a great resource. We always have every semester a Sanger Learning Center staff come and speak to our students and do a training, whether it's on note taking, whether it's on, how to, another time management focus. We always have someone come out and speak to our students, but Sanger is definitely a great resource for students that are needing extra tutoring.
Okay, wonderful. And do you have a suggestion as to whether somebody should come straight into UT from high school, or do you recommend, say, doing something else like community college or some other experience before coming into college?
Yeah, I would say for every student, that situation is going to be a little different. And I encourage all students to look at all options. I've had students succeed in both avenues. I have had students, start at a local junior college and then transfer to UT and have been successful. And I've had students just come straight out of high school and start at UT. I would highly recommend for all students to look at all your options and kind of do your pros and cons list. Think about what your long-term goal is, and then think about what your needs are and see what environment is going to be best for you. But just to let you know, if you do come straight here from high school, you do have Longhorn TIES as a support.
Wonderful. And how much of a course load do you recommend for that first year?
The first year, I always recommend our students to do basic, kind of 12 to 13 hours. I have some students that are overachievers, which I love our overachievers, that shoot for 16, 17, but always stay 12 to 13, because that first year, you want to get acclimated. You're in a new environment. You're trying to meet new people. This is probably your first time being independent, living on your own, and so that's already a lot on your plate. So, we stress the students, don't put even more by putting too much courses on your schedule. Kind of ease into it. So 12 to 13 is always the special number.
And
for
there's
me.
no rush to get through in 4 years. You can
Not,
as long as you want.
yes, not at all, not at all. I'm pretty sure if there's an average out there of how many students actually graduate through 4 years, it will be a good comparison when it comes to 5+ years, and it's okay, because that work world is going to be there. Graduate school is going to be there, so definitely, don't rush and, take one class at a time, take it one semester at a time.
Okay, great. And do you offer services during the summer as well?
Yes, so if students are enrolled in summer courses, students can be enrolled in summer courses locally at UT Austin or within their home area. We can provide support services. So right now, our coaching meetings, we provide coaching meetings in person and virtually, but let's say they want summer services and they're going to go back to their home, we can provide virtual supports as well.
Oh, great, wonderful.
Yeah.
And then any other advice you'd like to give for graduating seniors or their families as they consider UT?
Yes, well, I would say look early, and I applaud all the parents that are looking early and starting now. It's really great. Think about the resources that you really feel is helpful for your student. Students, think about what's special to you. Think about, okay, if I'm in high school right now, what are some things that I know have helped me succeed, not only inside of the classroom and outside of the classroom? And what are some things that are special to me that I'm looking for in a university or in a program? Longhorn TIES, we provide different levels of service. We have, study hall, social events, monthly meetings. We have created a community for our neurodivergent folks where our students are able to talk with one another. We have a Slack page for them. They have their own socials and get-togethers, and that's really important. So think about if that community is important for you. Do your pros and cons list and kind of figure out what are some things that are really special to you that you want in your college experience when you're doing that searching.
Oh, wonderful. Thanks so much for your time. I'm going to be doing another video for the E4 Texas program, which is a little bit different. Can you tell the difference between that program and yours and who the candidates would be for each type of program?
Yes. So the E4 program is awesome. We are coordinating with them for our April Neurodiversity Mixer. The E4 program provides support to students who are interested in a more kind of going out of high school or have completed some training and looking for employment in a specific field. So they get training in relation to that. And so they E4 students get to participate in UT activities as well. But our aren't considered specifically UT students. So they are not coming to UT to obtain a bachelor's degree. However, they are receiving ongoing training to improve employment skills. They work on independent living, budgeting, so many other great things. And they also have internship options where employment is their main goal. So if you are an individual that you're like, okay, I might not be quite ready to go to UT to obtain that bachelor's degree, but I do want additional training and support before I go into the work world, or want help going into the work world, E4 would be a great program for you.
Yeah, would you say that might be a good stepping stone to do that and then possibly look into applying at UT and doing this program?
Definitely. We haven't had, as Longhorn TIES, we're pretty new here. We're still in our infancy stage. We haven't had students cross over yet, but speaking with E4, they have had some students that have participated in E4, have been successful, and then have gone back to obtain a degree, or maybe taking classes at ACC. And so that is a definite possibility. So definitely reach out if you have any questions regarding that.
Great. We'll definitely cover more in detail in the next video. Yeah. But then other than those two programs, are there other opportunities at University of Texas to support students with different
Yes. So besides Longhorn TIES, our services for students with disabilities, UT, we have a lot of acronyms, so I have to remember the full word. They provide support for students that are needing classroom accommodations, housing accommodations. They also have, we also partner with them with their students on the spectrum group, and so that's a social group that meets usually every other week during the fall and spring semesters. We have Singer Learning Center, as we stated, for tutoring. Our Counseling and Mental Health Center, they're awesome. They have counselors there, and also counselors within each college called care counselors that assist students. There is a free to be neurodiverse support group within our Counseling and Mental Health Center. So many other options to assist neurodivergent folks, and we're steadily collecting them and expanding them because they weren't all centrally located, but now with Longhorn TIES here, we're helping our students kind of locate those supports for them.
Well, great. Well, as a former UT alum, I'm very excited about this program and all the opportunities that you're offering and supporting students. So thank you so much for your time.
Of course. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. My name is Ashley Richardson-Minnitt, and it is so glad to be with you today.
Great. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Bye-bye.